Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rahakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. As we can see, times are moving closer and closer to the return of Yahawashi. But before that, we're going to see a whole bunch of other prophecies take place. And it's going to be judgment to the 2/3, the wicked of our nation, of our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the real Hebrew Israelites that this message pertains to. It's either salvation or condemnation. And you can see pretty much that the line is drawn in the sand, that these people are basically walking the broad gate, and they disregard the message of Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. Especially right now, as things are heating up in the news, you got all these other things getting ready for biblical prophecy. World War III, the economic crash, plagues, pestilences are literally at the cusps of regular day society. America, which is known as Babylon in the scriptures, does not have that long to reign and rule. Pretty soon, we're going to see this place collapse, and then the return of Yahawashi. And he's going to come back to deliver those who are standing stiffly for his name, who are sighing and crying right now for all of the abominations that are happening down here. But I wanted to start off in this video by reading this in Daniel 12, because these are the times that we're gearing up for. So Daniel 12:1, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time." So the angel Michael is going to be in a defense for the hopeful elect. The angels encamp around about those who fear and reverence Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. But to these rest of these people, it's going to be judgment. It's not going to be protection for those, because when Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi called, they rejected his voices. They refused to hear what we're trying to say. But all we're really saying is the gospel, the good news. But none of these people want to get in line. They still want to party here in Babylon and all the wicked atrocities that it has to offer. So because of that, there's going to be an angel sent down to defend the hopeful elect. But it's going to be a time of trouble, so that these people, they're not that don't have that covering of Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi, they're going to be in a pitiful case. Because as it says here in Daniel 12:1, again, it says that there shall be a time of trouble. Speaking about Jacob's trouble. Because before World War III and the MOTB happened, you're going to see a lot of plagues and pestilences. You can just see on the news that they're gearing up for the next one. But continuing on, it says, "There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." And the book here is talking about the book of life. The hopeful elect's names are written in that book. And that's the only people that are going to be protected. The only people who are going to endure whatever hell that is literally about to take place on this earth, because they accepted Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi and are going to him as a refuge, as opposed to Esau, Edom, or whatever vain philosophy that the 2/3 like to attach themselves to. As for us in this household, like it says in Joshua 12, let me actually get that real quick. Joshua 24. So you're seeing the tabernacles of David being restored before your very eyes, and it's all through the spirit and faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. But let me read this precept real quick in Joshua 24 and verse 15. I'll start at verse 14. It says, "Now therefore fear the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood." And so, like, these people, whatever deity or entity, energy, whether it's money, music, fame, fortune, this society, that's the god of this world that blinded the minds of the 2/3. And they're going to latch onto that till the very end, till their demise. So continuing on, it says, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord, Yahawashi, Yahawashi. In verse 15 it says, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And that's the hope of the hopeful elect, pretty much, that our faith is going to save us and our households. Whoever, any brother, Akim, has wives, brothers, and sisters, and family members, children, the head of the household, if they believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi and they serve him, they're going to be in a good state, not in a bad state, which is literally the majority of our people, the 2/3. So like how Joshua here is asking that question, like you're either going to serve the people on that side, the broad gate, or serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi on the straight and narrow. There's a division. But let me go back to Daniel 12, and I'm just going to read the last part of this, because there's going to be a time of trouble. It's called Jacob's trouble in the scriptures. And like the rest of these people, they're not warning our people about that. They're not telling them to get right with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi now while they have chance. So I'm going to read from just right here. It says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So that is the expectation of the hopeful elect. The expectation of wrath and destruction, that's for the 2/3, because ultimately their names are not written in the book of life. They're not going to endure, and whatever deity or thing that they're attached to, like how Joshua was emphasizing that, these people were basically worshiping the gods of the people before the flood and the times of Egypt, those people aren't going to make it. So that's just the fact of the matter is that they're just going to be destroyed with whatever deity that they worship. That's one of the commandments, is that you're not supposed to worship other gods, but serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi instead. So let me get some precepts here, because as I'm saying all this doom and gloom and judgment, our expectation is salvation. So I want to read a few precepts going into that to uplift Akim, to comfort with these words. Let me see, this is in Isaiah 65. So okay, I'll read this, but 65, I'll start at verse 11. Well, it's really just going more into condemnation to these 2/3. But in verse 11 it says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for the troop, and that furnish a drink offering unto the number. And that's basically what these 2/3 are doing. They're preparing this table for the troop, because Esau Edom, he's going to come down with great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time. A lot of the 2/3 don't know that or understand that. They can't grasp that. They don't understand, and they despise this grace period that's given unto them. Therefore, they're going to be taken by the troop, Esau Edom, because he is going to come down with great wrath. That's why Michael is going to come down here to defend those who are found written in the book of life, because it's going to get that bad. But those who forsake Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, they're going to be prepared for the troop. And they're going to, like it's continuing on, verse 11 says, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Verse 12 it says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighteth not. They basically are doing what was said in Joshua 24:15. They're serving those deities and gods of before the flood and the times of Egypt instead of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. But as for me and my household and the brothers to my left and my right, the Akim in this truth, are serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi with sincerity. So going back to the 2/3, they're going to be numbered for the troop, because they've rejected this message. Verse 13, and this is where the comfort, edifying words come for the hopeful elect. those who have ears to hear, this applies to you. Verse 13, it says, Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And so there's going to come times where the plagues, pestilences, and the famines are literally going to affect everybody. But those who are under the secret place of the Most High are going to be taken care of in these last days. The Archangel Michael is going to come down to defend us. Verse 14, it says, Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And when these prophecies happen, this place gets shooken with earthquakes and pestilences, plagues, bad news when you turn on the TV. We rejoice at those facts because we know that this kingdom ain't it. It's surely polluted, and it'll pollute you if you're attached to it. But for Yahawashi servants, we're rejoicing for joy of heart of all of these things that are taking place. We're literally not a part of this society and what it has to offer. Maybe some other precepts, because like these last days that we're literally getting into are going to showcase that starking division, that these people are going to choose this world as opposed to the hopeful elect, the straight and narrow. And it's going to be a small number. This truth is not for the masses. It's only for the elect few who are found written in the book of life. Those who have ears to hear. Those who are sighing and crying for all the abominations that are done down here. The rest of these people, they can F off. Excuse my language. But it's going to be like that. It's just that when Jacob's trouble happens, it's going to be physical. It's not just going to be words that are spoken. But these are edifying words right here that I want to read to uplift the hopeful elect. Let me read actually this one first. This one is in Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahawashi, is his treasure. And that's the key right here, that we fear and reverence Yahawashi. The wisdom, knowledge, understanding that is given to us from the apostles and the elders on down through the spirit of Yahawashi is what's keeping us stable in these last days. And it's going to keep us more stable once Esau Edom starts to come down with great wrath. So I'm going to read this again. Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Because that's where our hope lies. Salvation. We don't want to be in a society or whatever vain philosophies this place has to offer. We want Yahawashi to return to deliver his elect and to dish out judgment on those who have afflicted the hopeful elect. The souls of the just complain continually for all these things. We want to see actual judgment. Like, as opposed to these other people, they want to dismiss this message. They want to dismiss the fact that Yahawashi is going to return, meaning business. But so I'm going to read this other precept in Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthened me. And that was how we're enduring in these last days. So long as if we're serving Yahawashi, we can do all things. Because there will come times where, like, the earthquakes, famines, plagues, pestilences are going to affect your area. But if you trust in Yahawashi, then anything is possible. Food will come to you. You're not supposed to fear Esau Edom, because we fear Yahawashi, a greater power who can kill both body and soul in hell. So our faith is to Yahawashi, the one who's sending out these plagues and judgments. So with that, we have the understanding that those plagues and pestilences are going to pass over us as opposed to actually directly target and affect us. Although we may be in the midst of this place, we believe in a higher power, and that there's angels encamping around about them who fear Yahawashi. And if you don't eat for a few days, so be it. If you're locked up in the FEMA facility for 10 days, so be it. That's why we have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding now, so that we're stable in those times to come. So when push comes to shove, we're going to be on a strong footing, and we're not going to waver in faith. All these things are possible through Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. All right, so it's another precept. This is in Isaiah 40:29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth strength. And going into like what's literally about to take place is the hopeful elect are going to receive these abilities, just like what happened in the book of Acts. The disciples turned apostles were able to do abilities just as Yahawashi did. And the scripture says that everything that Yahawashi did, we're going to do and more. It's not just walking on water that you're going to see the hopeful elect do, because we trust in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, all things are possible. So I'm going to continue on. This is in verse 30. It says, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. We're literally going to be possessed by the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, that our bodies are going to experience these blessings, these abilities, that like if we're going to be a pilgrim in these last days, however the scenario plays out for each and every individual brother, we're going to have the strength and energy of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi and the mindset that all things are possible. So we could probably walk for thousands of miles and not be weary, not get hungry. And that's the power that we're attached to. So like food is secondary. The main thing is the words of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. That's what's fueling us through these last days. And you best believe that we're going to receive those spiritual powers, even the abilities of manipulating food, just like how Yahawashi did, turning water into wine. So you best believe that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi's servants will eat. And like how the elder brothers at our camp, they always bring up the notion that like during Jacob's trouble, you're going to know it's going to be a starking difference who is being protected by Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi versus those who are being judged by Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. We're going to be satiated, meaning that we have enough or more than enough, eating food constantly, or at least enough so that we are able to endure, as opposed to these other people who are going to resort to cannibalism or something worse. But I'm going to read this last precept. This is in 2 Corinthians 4:16. For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And we're being renewed day by day as we're hearing these words and prophesying against Mount Seir and calling for the return of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, giving him no rest till he returns and establishes the kingdom down here wherein righteousness dwell. So we might get old, might get hurt, scuff our feet, break a few bones or whatever, however the situation is. We might even lose our heads, get decapitated for Yahawashi's sake. Our outward man is going to perish, but mainly our inward man is renewed day by day. We're tapping into the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, which is pretty much unlimited energy. And when Yahawashi returns, that's going to manifest to its fullness for the hopeful elect. That's our hope in salvation that we're expecting when Yahawashi returns. But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, B'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom Akim.